dedication, proper nutrition, proper hydration, and work ethic. That's it. I told you, we're gonna have fun on this channel. All right, another day in the gym. Thanks for joining us. Let's start our warm up like we always do. I'm gonna pound out 50 push-ups. Maybe you're not at the point that you can do 50 push-ups. Maybe you're at the point where you can do more. If you can do more, I want at least one set of maxing out, as many as you can. For those of you who can't do 50 push-ups, if you can do 10, do 4 or 5 sets of 10. When you're done, you'll be warmed up. Maybe you're not at the point where you can do that. Do modified ones. Start on your knees. You don't have to go on your toes. But make sure your joints, your core is all warmed up before you get into muscle training. Because let's be honest, an injury only slows down your progress. You don't want to take 2 weeks off because you didn't warm up. I'm going to get doing these push-ups, and then we'll get on with a full arm workout. Let's do this. All right, make sure you got your water. Let's get our asses in gear. Gonna hit the biceps and triceps today. All right, so we're at the cable machine. We got 2 handles on it. As you can see, I'm not setting it high. You wanna know why? Because we're warming up. There's no one here to impress, okay? Don't hurt yourself. Warm up. I don't care how embarrassing it looks. Now, if you're gonna do bicep curls, which we're warming up with, just go through the proper motion. Yes, you can do one arm, but we're only doing warm up, so it's not like we have to really concentrate and focus, but make sure you're standing up straight. Knees just a little bit bent, so you're not loading up, and no swinging. Your elbows should stay in the same spot. And then a motion like that. Ideally, like everything else, if you haven't learned this before, the majority of the exercise that does the damage, which helps repair and grow mass, is on the negative. If you're not sure what that is, this is the positive motion, this is the negative motion. So ideally, you get a good flex on the way up, you really flex the bicep at the top, lower it slower than you came up. There you go. And don't do this at the bottom. Don't relax your arms. Time under tension is the most important thing when you're doing any type of training. So time under tension means you keep that weight loaded up. The moment you're down here, it's on your shoulders. So your arm should never actually go straight like this. Keep a bend, then it's under tension. Up. Hold for 3/4 of a section, flex that bicep, bring it down slow. How fast you come up is irrelevant. Make sure you control the weight on the back down. None of this shit, okay? The moment you start arching your back and doing this, you're working your back. That's why it's easier. You wanna know why you cheat like that? Because it's easier on you. But if it's easier on you, it means the weight is no longer on your arms. So don't bother swinging. You're not impressing anyone. Anyone you think you're impressing knows better, and they think you look stupid. Do it properly, and everyone will respect you, regardless of what you lift. Or better yet, don't worry about what anybody thinks, and worry about your workout. So yeah, when you start feeling it warm up, you're doing the right thing. You start feeling that pump in the bicep, you're doing it good. You're doing it right. You're on your way to winning. But make sure you're keeping your form good, and you're getting that contraction up top and the slow return down. Now, we're also warming up triceps, which is the back of the arm. Bicep is called a bicep because there's 2 major muscles in it. Tricep, for the same reason, there's 3. So with the same amount of weight, we're just going to turn this around, and we're going to go this way. And all you're doing now to activate those triceps is you're lifting straight up. Just like that. If this is an uncomfortable motion for you, it's okay to just do one at a time. If you really need to focus on your tricep because it's a new exercise for you, then just use one. Or you can go back and forth, do 4 or 5 of one, 4 or 5 of the other. This is the beauty of the cable machine, because with the leverage of the pulleys, you don't overload when you go back down to one arm. For those of you looking to create large arms, there's a misconception that you work your biceps to create large arms. The reality is, the bigger your tricep is, because there's 3 muscles there, adds more girth to your arm. It's going to have a much bigger diameter if you do your triceps and focus on them. That doesn't mean don't do your biceps. It just means make sure you put equal effort into your triceps. Now, since I've just spent a minute doing triceps, I can go right back to biceps. No need to wait. I'm not even going to bother lifting the weight. I'm just going to control the negative to make sure I'm burning off. That's the beauty of doing it properly. You can make it burn as many calories as you want. You can make it tear down as much muscle as you want. You just focus the contraction and the negative. Yes, I could do 40 of these, or I could really control the negative. Yeah, see how I'm already breathing heavier with just that little bit of weight, but doing it super slowly. Yeah, doing 8 of these properly. I don't care how big you are, how long you've worked out, 20 pounds is gonna burn. It's gonna get that pump into your arms. So don't worry about slinging heavy weights. Heavy weights damages your joints, tears muscle, stops your game, stops you from winning, stops you from reaching your goals. Doesn't sound very good, does it? Whew, those ones burn. So I'm gonna go back to one more set of triceps, and then we'll get on to our first actual exercise. I'm gonna do both of these at the same time, just because I prefer it like that. But same thing. This is now the positive. This is the negative. There we go. Now we'll get on to the first full muscle building exercise. Drink your water. All right, first exercise. This is actually a really good one to fit in anywhere in your workout. You can do it at the beginning as the preload to the workout, or you can do it at the end to really get a burnout. And for those of you who don't know what it is, this is a single arm preacher curl. A lot of people will call them concentration or isolation curls. Normally you do it off your knee like this, but I'm just showing you how to use one piece of equipment for as many uses as possible. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do this for a bicep exercise, get that peak really nice and high, and then we're going to turn around and use the bar behind us to do skull crushers. So again, the goal here is to, if you're comfortable continually going up in weight after each exercise, I'm just starting with a 20, not trying to impress anybody. And then what we'll do is, if I feel good with that, you know, pounding out at least 10 to 12, if not 14 per arm, maybe we'll go up to a 25. But you judge it. Don't worry about showing off or always trying to go heavier than last time. The idea is to get the burn, break down that muscle, not injure yourself. So let's get going. Now, none of this shit where you turn your arm this way and then you pull it back up, okay? One motion. You bring it up. If you have to, put your finger on the part of your bicep that you want to work so you can focus on it in your mind. I want the peak. So that's how I'm gonna do it, and that's gonna make sure, see, when I flex at the top, I wanna make sure I can feel that. Right there is where it's, when I get back up to the top. So you're gonna lower it slowly, and then bring it up. What I like to do at the bottom of this exercise is just rotate my arm. What that does is it gets a really good tension right here, and I've basically brought my arm back. So when I start the motion, it's roll it back up and then curl. Not up here, because that takes the pressure off the muscle. That's not under tension. What you're doing here is you're resting. Find out where that last piece of tension in. For me, it's right there, and then back down. No waiting. Bring it up, get the flex at the top right there, bring it back down, slow. Now this is in a single dimension. It's not deviating left or right, it is down and up in the same direction. Some people like to do a hammer like this. Now what this does, it really activates your forearm, which is cool. That's not the exercise I want today. I want the peak on that bicep. I haven't been counting, but I'm gonna go based on how my bicep feels, and then I'll switch it up and go to the left arm. Really make sure you focus on your breathing. Breathe in on the way up, out on the way down, in on the way up. And what that does is it gives you really good timing with your lift as well. That way you're not forgetting to breathe. Because if you forget to breathe, what have you always been told? You don't breathe, your lungs don't bring in oxygen, it doesn't put it into the bloodstream, you burn out really quick. So you know what, I'm gonna do 3 more because I can really feel it. I can almost say that I should have probably gone with 15s just because my joint in here is feeling a little too much of the tension. So maybe I'll do 1 more set at 20. All right, now straight to the other arm. And again, you'll probably get a better view from this angle. I'm lowering it. I'm keeping one straight line. It's not deviating this way or that way. Up. Flex. Use your finger if you have to really pinpoint where that peak's going to be. Up. Up. Breathe out. Breathe in. You may want to do it opposite. You may want to breathe out on the way up. Really depends. It's whatever you feel like. There isn't one right, one wrong way. Whatever you're most comfortable in, just remember to breathe and keep it in timing with the lift, whether it's the positive or negative. And like I said, no rest, always time under tension. You know, a lot of people like the hammer curl because it builds up the forearms and the outside of the bicep. What I don't like about it is for a lot of people, they rest too much at the bottom of the hammer curl. Because when you do this, you get to the bottom. Right now, there's no tension on my bicep. It's all here and basically just taken up on my rotator cuff. But if you're like this, you don't have a choice. Look, it's always engaged. That's why, you know, a lot of people will rotate, they'll supinate, you know, a bunch of different terminology to make sure they're rotating through the motion, which has its purpose. But in a concentration curl, in a preacher curl, where you're really trying to isolate the peak of that bicep, no rotation. Breathing. Slow up, slow down. Concentrating on where you want it to work. Like that bicep should be flexed right now. It should have full of blood. Don't worry about making stupid faces. That's half the part of being at the gym. Making stupid faces and grunt if you have to. But the one thing we do not do is we do not drop our weights, okay? No one's impressed by what you're lifting, okay? Slamming it down afterwards doesn't impress anyone. Everyone thinks you're an idiot. You know, if it's that heavy, get a spotter to catch it. Pre-plan it out, have a bench there to rest it on. You're not lifting heavy enough that you gotta slam weights down like an idiot, okay? I'm gonna go for that 3 more. I'm honestly wasn't even counting because I'm going for a feeling, not for a number. The number is just so I can try and relate to you what you should aim for if you're a first time at the gym or a fairly novice. All right, now we'll go from that. And again, because I'm explaining it to you, I'm going a lot slower. Normally I would have pounded that already and gone straight to the skull crushers. Skull crushers are aptly named because if you drop it, you're crushing your skull. So you're gonna come up like this, and the goal is to keep the shoulder and elbow in line and just do extensions. See, a lot of people like to do these more laid down and then really tighten it up, bring the elbows in and do it right above their head. There's nothing wrong with either way. You do whatever you're comfortable with. If I don't have a spot, I like to do it more vertical. So if I have to bail on the bar, it's not hitting me here. But neither are right or wrong. But the point is to get it as low as possible without putting strain on, and you're not trying to move the elbows too much. And they flex at the top. This is one of the few exercises where you actually lock out your joint to do it properly, because it's the locking of the tricep or the elbow that activates the tricep. On exercises like this, I like to do the breathing in reverse. I like to breathe out with the explosion. There, breathe out. Breathe in on the way down, explode and breathe out. Slow on the way down, breathe out. All right. There you go. Now we're going to speed it up a little bit because we've gone through the motions. And I'm sure if you have any questions, always feel free to put them in the comments. We will do another workout, obviously. So if it's something you didn't understand the first time, or you have a question, just ask. I'm more than happy to go back over it next time and maybe modify it for, maybe there's something that you can't do or your range of motion limits you with what you're able to do. Let us know that. We'll modify an exercise to work best with you. That's what we're here for. All right. I'm actually going to stick with 20. I was comfortable with it. I'm just not going to be talking to the camera while I do it. Now, people are probably going to ask, why are you doing so many reps on the triceps? I know for me personally, I need a lot of warm up in my elbows for tricep extensions. So I'd rather do 20 to 25 as opposed to the 12 to 14 for biceps, because your biceps are activated in almost everything you do during the day. So you're technically warmed up, but this motion isn't something that everybody does during the day, which is why I love to start with push-ups. Notice a push-up is this motion, almost the same, eh? See? Which is why I love starting with them, because they work your biceps, your triceps, your anterior head of your delts, and your chest. But as you can see, we're already getting some decent pump in the arms. For myself, I've always had a very difficult time building arms. And then I kind of just thought, you know what? I did some research and I found out what slows down a lot of people's progress when building up their arms. And every muscle is surrounded by like a casing, a sheath. And that really restricts the growth of the muscle. It also dictates the shape of the muscle. If the sheath is really tight on the ends, it'll really pull it in. You'll get more of a peak. That's why if you look at different bodybuilders, they can all do the same exercises. Some of them have a big mass bicep, others have got a peak. It's basically that sheath that holds the muscle together. So what I started thinking was, normally most people separate their biceps and triceps into separate days. What I decided to do a couple of years ago, because I was just sick of being able to put on all this mass in the delts and in the chest very easily, but my arms were lacking. I couldn't get them over 18 and a half-ish. So what I did is I started combining the workouts for usually 6 to 8 weeks at a time before breaking them back up again. And I would pound through them, superset them like this. So what that would do is it would stretch all the casing at once. By the end of these workouts, like I'm doing it slower so you can see what I'm doing and explaining it all the way, I wouldn't be taking breaks this big. Like it would be so bad that by the end of the workouts, it would just be huge. And I found that after that, you know, after 6 to 8 weeks of doing that, so I'll actually do individual training sessions to try and get people. Camera person's laughing her ass off right now, which is fine. She's got a perverted mind. But I will actually do a very isolated workout for different body parts as people want to know how to work on their problem areas. Because I'll be honest, yeah, it looks great when I'm working out. You know, we're all pumped up, jacked, all that kind of shit. But the reality is, to get a good bodybuilder, even if that's not your goal, but if you want symmetry, a good bodybuilder works on their deficiencies more than their power groups. So, sorry, I'm going into this too far, but just know, in the future, the more comments you leave, we will tailor our exercises for that. Because my only goal is to trim down and get as strong as possible. I'm not worried about mass. I know that I've had like 19 to 3/4 inch arms. I can get back there, but that isn't necessarily my goals. They're gonna come back anyways with the way I lift, but I'm trying to promote more of a healthy lifestyle for you. You don't need gigantic arms. But you know what, if that's your goal, we'll help you with that. Maybe you want to round off your delts, so you got that really good calf, we can help you with that. You want to add mass to your legs, we'll do that. So just know that there isn't one way of working out. We're just going to give you maybe a different approach to what you want to do in your daily routines. So, all right, I'm going to get back at this, and then we'll get to the next exercise. From this angle, you can see the path that I was talking about. It stays in a straight line, no deviating, because it's easier. Just up, down, rotate the wrist, bring it back up. Really focus on that. So we're going to speed the rest of these up. You see what we're doing. Then we'll get to the next exercise. All right, next exercise. We're right back at the cable machine. The beauty of having a lot of knowledge on all the different things you can do is if someone else is using the equipment that you want to do, don't get mad, don't give them bad looks, hoping to rush them. Just go to something else and get your workout done. Because the longer you wait, the worse mindset you put yourself in. That's gonna hurt your workout, not theirs. So we're gonna come over here, and instead of using the single handles, we're gonna do it like this. This is another really good burnout exercise. And like I said, this is my first week back at it. I'm not looking to lift heavy. I'm looking to lift perfectly, get that burn, and maximize my gains. So ideally, you feel like this, you wanna focus on time under tension. So don't sit here and just lift, because the moment you hit the bottom, you're off tension again. Take a step back. Notice you're always preloaded. Then you're gonna lift up and bring the rope apart and this is where rotation is good. The word is supinate. You can Google that. Supinate. As you're coming up, you're rotating your wrists so the palm of your hand is facing your face. And look at the peak it puts on your biceps. And then as you bring it down, same thing like that. And I actually like to bring it and rotate this way because it kind of hits the outer bicep. So up, down, Control both motions. Don't be swinging your back. And this, it doesn't matter how much weight you have on it. Again, you dictate the burn by how slow of an exercise you do. Just control your breathing. Make sure you're drinking water in between each set. And maximize your gains. Every time you lift that, make sure you're feeling a bit more pain. Like from my angle, I can actually see the vein in my bicep pumping. It's popping out a little bit. You probably can't see it yet. I'm not as lean as I'd like to be, but I know exactly what that one's gonna look like in a few weeks when I drop a few more pounds. Not that I'm looking at the scale, I'm looking in the mirror. The scale doesn't tell me whether I look good or not. The mirror tells me if I look good or not. Other people don't tell me if I look good or not. I tell me if I look good. And the fact that I'm already starting to see, I don't know if you can see it, but over here, they're starting to come out. That's the muscle, pushing those veins out. Burning up the glucose in the bloodstream. Forcing the body to release some of that fat that's stored in those fat cells. You just keep pressing through it. These supersets that we're doing, a really good way to strengthen yourself, build a little bit of muscle, and burn a lot of fat. Doesn't that sound like a lot of wind? Best thing about being on this machine is you quickly go and adjust it. Look at that. Now we're working triceps, same machine. And from this one, same thing. Take a little bit step back, maybe not as much, just enough to keep tension on it. Elbows to the side, none of this stuff. This is a back workout, okay? Elbows to the side. Up, press down. As you're coming down at the end, spread it. Just like that. Yeah, smile all you want. I said what I said. Look what the triceps do at the end of that extension. This does almost nothing for the triceps. That's where it is. So when you see people doing this, that means nothing. That means everything in a tricep workout, right there. And again, when you're just beginning, you can count out reps, whatever you need, 8, 10, 12, 14, but it really doesn't matter. What matters is you get to the point where it starts hurting, it starts burning. Where all those average people quit. That's when you're gonna do 4 to 6 more. That's the only number you need to know. When you don't wanna do more, the amount you do after that, that's how many matter. Doesn't matter if it takes you 20 to get to that point. That last 3 or 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Makes a bit of a difference when you do it properly. Does it matter? I'm over 220 pounds. That is 40 pounds on a cable system, which is really minimal. Does it look like you need, does it look like you need 60 pounds an arm? No, not at all. Do it properly. That one actually burned me out. I've been out of the gym too long and I can feel it. You know, we're already on the 3rd exercise, and I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to be energetic the whole way through, but this is my first arm exercise in over 2 years. So bear with me, and I hope if you're tuning in and you know, maybe this is your first time you're looking to get into the gym, it's the first program you've built, or maybe you just need the inspiration to get back into the gym, please use me, because we're pretty much in the same spot. This is my first week back in the gym since like November 2021, I think, for a little bit. 21, 20? No, 20. Yeah, sorry. This is pandemic stuff. As you can see, it kind of hit me hard. It softened up my brain too. But hey, look at me wasting time. Back to biceps. All right, as usual, take a step back. We're gonna speed these ones up so you don't have to watch me. And just go through the motions. But do more than that. At the end of that motion, flex that shit out. Why are you here if you're just gonna pull in bullshit efforts? Make sure you flex at the top of that exercise and control it on the way down. You can bring it up quickly, but don't you dare bring it down quickly, because this is when 70% of the exercise happens, is controlling the negative. I only got 10 out of that, I think. That's not enough. Wow. Your arms are getting so tired you can't lift the gym equipment. Oh, almost there. All right, as an excuse to do another set, because like I said, why not? We're already here. Let's burn some more calories, tear down some more muscle, so we can rebuild tomorrow. If you're already at the cable machines, here's a couple different things you could do. Bicep curls, you can do so many different things with the same motion. Supinate, like we said, you can do it in reverse, you can do hammer. But if you don't want to put this back up to do a tricep pull down, you can do an overhead tricep extension, no different than the skull crushers, but you can modify it here. So I'm going to do one more set with the biceps, and I'll quickly switch to the tricep exercise that I'm talking about. So again, regular grip, but I'm actually going to do these like a hammer style. Hammer style, think of swinging a hammer. Normally we're curling like this. We're going to do it like a hammer, so it's like hitting a hammer. Keep that motion like that. So what that actually does is it builds in through here and out through here as opposed to the inside. When you supinate, you hit here. When you keep it in a, well, you can actually see. Here, if I just flex like that, you'll see what a hammer style does. It adds width to the forearm, which a lot of people have asked me how I do. Really, I'll be completely honest, my forearms come from, I don't use wrist wraps for most stuff. I haven't all my life. The forearm is grip strength. And you can also, you know, add to your strength and add mass by doing everything in a hammer strength motion, because you're gripping and that automatically flexes here. Here it doesn't necessarily do it, but when you're doing this and that pull up, you really get the burn, right? Like look how hard that is. So yeah, I'll do this in the hammer style and then we'll switch to the tricep overhead extensions. So just like before, but instead of supinating at the top, straight up. Because we're in the second half of our workout here, I'm adding extra sets to the end. Pounding on another 4 to 6 is always good. It's going to burn out those muscles, give you that really big flex and pump, so you can work around that, like I said, that sheath that's around every muscle group. You really want to stretch it out so the muscle has room to grow, because if the sheath is always compressing the muscle and it can't fill up with blood, you're never going to get nutrients to it to repair. So go a little further than you normally would with a couple extra sets. That's where pyramiding comes in really well. You slowly pyramid higher in weight, but then you do a superset on the way down. Oh, let's say you maxed out as much as you could do at 40 pounds, drop it to 30, pound out 3 or 4 more, drop it to 20, 3 or 4 more. And that's when you get that ridiculous pump in your arm or your legs or your shoulders. And that's what allows more blood to get in, more blood. It means more oxygen, more nutrients, more growth to all that torn up tissue. There you go. I'm not even charging you to tell you this. I just want you to be the best version of you. But you know what? Look, I didn't get right into that tricep thing like we were talking about. So let's pretend I just finished that last set of biceps. I'm gonna quickly just kick it up. Make sure you do it in a good motion so you're not hurting yourself. There you go. Now you're right into tricep extensions. Boom. I know a lot of people that this is one of their favorite exercises for triceps. And there's so many different ways to do this. If we can get the camera person to come up front, you'll see all the different angles of hitting the triceps. This works mainly the interior head, but depending on how you flex at the top, you can pretty much work out every part of your tricep with this. If I keep them together and move my elbows in, this works the outer tricep, the part that you can see from the side of your body. The wider I get with the grip, the more it works to the inside where you can see under the bicep there. It's all where you want to work. Build the best body by knowing how to manipulate the muscles to do what you want them to do. I like that outer arm look, so I like to bring my elbows in. Ooh. Yeah, like I said, this is not heavy weight, but man, it's just hard to even flex my arms right now. Love this feeling. And like I said, only when it starts hurting, after that, that's when the reps count. Everything before that's just foreplay. There we go. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. There you go. That's a slightly different way of doing it, but as you can see, it works quite well. The leaner I get, the more obvious this will be, but don't just take my word for it. Go to the gym, try a few different things. If you see someone at the gym and you're not sure what their movement is, wait till they're done their set and ask them to explain what it is they're doing if you're not used to seeing it. I guarantee you, most people in the gym, as intimidating as you think they are, would be more than happy to help and stop. Stop and help and stop, doesn't matter, because you want to know why? They were the newbie at the beginning as well, and they remember the people that stopped to help them. So I'm done with that rant. Let's go find another exercise. You know what? We're gonna do one more of these because I like the way I feel after doing that superset. So I'm gonna pound it out, probably gonna put it on time lapse, but I wanna do one more. All right, our finisher today, I'm actually gonna start with the triceps because this is gonna be heavier because I'm using all my body weight and I have too much of that right now. One of the most underrated and underutilized exercises for triceps is the tricep dip. I like a lot of people will use the, the bars where you can push on it. But I find a lot of that people use too much chest because they don't do it quite right. They lean a little too far forward, which is great for working the chest, but we're doing an arm workout today. I like 2 simple benches, but just be courteous, okay? If you're gonna put your feet up on a bench, you should be wiping them anyways, but don't put your shoes up. I took my shoes off. You can put your feet up. You don't want to be damaging the leather with your rugged shoes and stuff like that. Shoes off and make sure you wipe it down and try and get through these exercises as quick as possible because you're using 2 benches. So if it's during a busy time of day, you're kind of being a dick using it up. But it's after midnight right now. There's 3 other people in the gym. And if anybody was around here, I would then ask if it was okay to use both. So a dip is pretty straightforward. Do with the range of motion that you're best at. And normally what I would do is I would have a spot loading weights onto my lap, but you'll see the motion in case you've never done this before. But like I said, when you're done this, you're done. So I'll show you. The idea is to get your butt off the bench, support yourself with your palms on here, get your feet over there. I actually like to cross them, and then just start dipping to the range of motion that you like to use. So like this, and then look at all the muscles it activates. Again, this is my first week back to the gym. I'm not gonna try and extend this too far down. I'm gonna slowly work on my range of motion. And the further along we go in a couple weeks, I'll start putting 45-pound plates on my lap. Right now, this kills. Oh man. Oh. Doesn't take a lot. Wow. Holy shit. We're not done yet. Now come over here. This is what we're gonna do. We're going to now superset down a set of dumbbell curls. And again, you're not impressing anyone. Lift according to what you feel like. I'm just going to the 25s. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to the 20s. All right. This is pretty straightforward. The one thing I don't want you doing is bringing your hands back down to your sides where you can relax and get taken out of time under tension. Time under tension, remember that. That's the secret to growth. So it doesn't matter which arm you're doing. If you're gonna do both at the same time, cool. Don't you dare bring these down here. You keep them forward. Look at the difference in my bicep. Like this, the bicep rests. Like this, it's still loaded up. And you pound through those first ones until you're burnt out. I haven't got a clue how many it is, but I'm telling you right now, this is the end of a 90-minute workout. It ain't feeling great, but you know what that means? It means tomorrow it's gonna be feeling even worse. You know what that means? Growth, tear down, rebuild, bigger muscles, stronger muscles, more endurance in the muscles, more fat burning. All those good things that come from making it just a few extra reps when it doesn't feel good. Oh, I'm already there. So what you can do if you want to cheat after you've done to burnout is then switch to a hammer back and forth just to get the rest of them. Because I was done doing it the proper way. And now you notice, even rock the body a little bit just to bring the weight up. As long as you control it on the way down. So yeah, we're cheating a little bit, going to an easier exercise like the hammer. Oh man, we're cheating a little bit to get a few extra reps. We're not relaxing. We're not relaxing at all. No, hell no. So we're gonna put these down and put down those 20s. We're gonna grab some 15s. And we're gonna go back to doing them in the front again. Yeah, you could do 40 or 50 of these. You ain't gonna be feeling good. Unless you're a cycle and you like the way this feels. Insert me. A little crazy at times, that's okay. Oh wow, that's it for that. Back to cheating, hammer curls. All right, here's a mount. Figure out what the movie it is. Mark's like, ooh, gotta get a pump, gotta get a pump. Ooh, what the hell was that movie called? I'll remember, it's Dwayne Johnson, Mark Wahlberg. Pain and Gain, that's right. Oh, this feels terrible. I love it. Okay. Ow. Ah, we ain't done yet. Let's go on to the 12 and a half. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, hammer. Okay, let's swing a little bit. Crossbody, single hammers. There we go. Oh, see, completely different exercises that you can work in. Oh, the entire workout. But I'm using it as a burnout at the end because I don't want to be lifting heavy in my first 2 weeks back. This is week number 1, like I've said. I want to make sure I'm completely hydrated, drinking all that water I tell you guys to drink. So when you actually get to heavier lifting, and I'm using 40s for curls and 50s for curls, I want to make sure I'm hydrated, proper nutrition, properly warmed up all the joints, all the muscle, then you can lift heavy. But as you can see, even a guy my size, oh, you can get a lot out of lifting consistent, lifting properly, and just focusing on what you're working on. There we go. Oh my goodness. We're not done. Look, these benches are still here waiting for us. I actually found the bench was a little too far last time. Brought it a little bit closer, back at it. Oh. other than me being too heavy. You can tell that you do not need a lot of excess weight to do these exercises. Wow. Dedication, proper nutrition, proper hydration, and work ethic. That's it. The people that don't have that don't succeed. And that's not just in the gym, that's everything. Success in finances, success in relationships, everything you gotta work at. Not everything's gonna be easy. But what do we say? We're not just gonna work on your fitness. We're gonna work on your mindset, which is gonna affect everything in your life. You take what you learn on the gym floor and you apply it to everything. I mean, if you wanna be mediocre, unsubscribe. Go follow someone else's page that tells you that you're okay just the way you are. Because let's be honest, when you look in the mirror, you're not happy with you just the way you are. It's not saying you have to be as good as somebody else, but you for damn sure should be the best version of yourself. Let's get the hell over here and pound out another set. Stand up tall so you can breathe well. Fucking reps in. There we go. That's the hammers. And then both. Single it up. Double it up. Oh, shit. Drop a few pounds. Right back at it. We don't take breaks. Wow. I can't even do a full rep like this. I can't even with this lightweight, I can't even bring it to a full flex up top. This means we slow it down. Cheat if you have to. Bend into it if you have to. But don't be swinging the shit. Okay? Because swinging it means you're working your back. If you need a better angle, work the angles. But do not be swinging these weights. Oh. I am done with these guys. Let's do this. Again, I know it's difficult, but for these last reps, stand up straight, fill your lungs up as much as you can, and pound out these reps. Oh, this hurts so much. Make all the stupid faces you want. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the people think. Are they paying your bills? Hell no. Are they doing your workout? Hell no. Are they building your life? Hell no. So what does it matter what they think? Back to the benches. Like I said, you gotta be just a little sick and twisted. Just a little bit. But I've been called worse. All right, let's try and get another 10 of these. Cross the other way. That's how we keep the sound so good. Mic'd up. All right. So we're coming to the end of this workout. Hope you enjoyed a slightly different way to hit arms. I know a lot of you have said you had problems building yours. For the longest time, I had the hardest time building mine, keeping them in proportion with a large upper body. This type of workout has helped me add mass to my arms to create the balance that I was looking for. Now I have symmetry, not symmetry, but balance to both sides of the arm. And you know, it matches well with the roundness of my delts, the fullness of my chest, that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm actually legitimately out of breath at this point. That workout felt amazing. So please, comment, let us know what you think about this workout. Please go and try it and let us know what kind of results you get. We'd love to hear. And if you have any questions at all about how we can modify it to work best with you, put them in the comments. We just want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to make sure we're reaching people. So yeah, I guess one last, just figure out how I'm doing here. I like to do this at the end, even if I'm not in the condition that I'd like to be in. I like to be able to see what I look like flexed in different positions. So obviously we worked biceps today, so I'm going to want to get a good rotation, see what it looks like, and then bring up to see how the peaks have come in. That's not bad. Check out triceps. Like I said, I don't have my definition yet. The lighting isn't great in here, but at least I'm happy with the mass coming in. That's not so bad. For me, I don't even have to work shoulders, and I always get this. This is why I don't do heavy shoulders, because I get even more disproportionate. And if I turn this around, work the shadows in my favor, like I said, that line across there I love in myself, so I can point out where my strong sides are. But me, I always lagged in the arms. So. Eventually I'll get it all balanced out again. I definitely won't be stepping on stage at my age, but doesn't mean we can't have fun. And people may say it's so narcissistic to go and flex in the mirror, but you know what? Again, I don't care what people think. I'm interested in my results, because my results better my life, their results better their life. Their opinions do not change mine at all. So please stop worrying about what other people say. But for today, I hope you've enjoyed what we do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Lets us know that you enjoy what we're doing, and we're going to keep coming back for more. But for tonight, I am out. All right, got to make sure we get our shout outs in, because this doesn't happen without the sponsors who graciously come on board to help us deliver our message to you. Firstly, Matt with Anytime Fitness has given us access to all his locations to come in and train, so we can reach you and give you a better way of working out, motivating you, inspiring you to do better every day. Secondly, State North. Trent, thank you so much for providing all the clothing that we're using. That is super awesome. We've been working with you guys since day one, and this is just you guys being awesome again. So all these links will be in the description. Check out their products. Just how do you not win when you have groups that get involved to help you do what you're doing. So, there you go. That's who we have to thank for doing what we do and helping us do what we do. Have an awesome night, guys. George's Tap.